Good morning, everyone. My name is Brenda Alvarez. My code is 00136836 and my NRC is 1014. So I'm going to talk about a medical issue that I'm learning recently, and it's about the irrigation of the brain, the arterial irrigation of the brain. And let's start with knowing how the blood start in the heart and travels through all these arteries and goes to the brain. So the main artery that leaves the heart is the aorta. This artery is going to leave two important branches. The first is the common carotid and the second is the subclavian. In the right side is different than in the left side, because in the right side we have the brachiocephalic branch. The brachiocephalic branch is going to leave two important branches, that is the carotid common and the subclavian. In the left side we don't have a brachiocephalic branch, we have directly the common carotid and the subclavian. These are direct branches of the aortic branch. So the subclavian is going to irrigate all the arm, and the common carotid is going to irrigate the neck, the face, and the head. It's important to know that the common carotid is going to divide in two branches, the external carotid artery and the internal carotid artery. So the external carotid artery is going to irrigate all the face, and the internal carotid artery is important because this artery is going to entry to the cranial fossa of the temporal bone, and is going to divide in other arteries and is going to irrigate the arterial part of the brain. So let's focus in the internal carotid artery. This entry to the foveal crassa and is going to divide it in the ophthalmic artery that is going to irrigate the eye. We are going to have the anterior cerebral artery and the middle cerebral artery. These arteries are going to irrigate the anterior part of the brain. And what happened with the posterior part of the brain? We are going to have this irrigation by the vertebral artery. So let's remember that we have a subclavian artery, and this artery is going to leave another important branch, that is the vertebral artery. This artery ascends through the transverse foramen of the cervical vertebra, that are the bones that we have in the neck, and an entry to the cranius by the foramen magnum, and we are going to have two vertebral arteries, one of the right side and one of the left side. So once inside of the cranius, they are going to converge and are going to form the basilar artery. And then they are going to divide again and are going to form the posterior cerebral artery, one of the right side and one of the left side. So the vertebral artery and its divisions are going to give the irrigation of the posterior part of the brain. So it's important that we know that our brain connects the irrigation of the anterior part and the irrigation of the posterior part with this artery, that is the posterior communication artery. Yeah. It's important that you know that the irrigation of the arteries are really important, because it gives to the cells of the brain, the neurons, they need the energy to function, they need oxygen, they need nutrients. And it's important because all of these nutrients and the oxygens travels through these arteries, and they leave all the energy through the glucose and give us the nourish to the brain and give us the energy that we need to function. Thank you.